Hello, Michael Swain here after Kansas basketball's 69-65 win over UConn here at Allen Fieldhouse, and what an incredible game, and what a great game for December too. I think this is something that should happen a lot more often. Some elite teams playing on campus in non-conference play. This is the perfect example of why these games should happen across the country. Just an incredible night for basketball. Hands down, maybe one of the best environments I've seen in Allen Fieldhouse in the 7 years I've been covering KU. It was loud. It was loud throughout the course of the game. And here's what I loved about it. You know, I think maybe some fans are not going to like the fact that there were a good amount of UConn fans here who made some noise. I thought that added to the atmosphere. When Kansas was going well, the KU fans making a lot of noise. When UConn had a couple good stretches in the game, especially in the second half, the UConn fans were making some noise too. I thought it created a really fun environment for everyone involved, and the basketball you saw on the floor was great. It was two different teams with, I think, maybe some similar strengths in certain areas, and just going after it, and their coaching adjustments, everything you could ask for in an elite college basketball game. And KU in the end is able to make the plays down the stretch. The lid comes off the basket, and they're able to win the game thanks to some good free throws from KJ Adams, who scores 5 of KU's last 8 points. More on him in a second. And then Kevin McCullough makes 3 threes down the stretch. And he's cementing why you're seeing him pop up on some NBA mock drafts for the first round. If he's going to shoot the ball like he has to start the season more consistently and do it throughout the course of the year, maybe he plays that level over the course of the next few months. But overall, I mean, this is just an elite game and a lot of fun to watch. You go to the first half, and I thought KU defensively played great. They're switching. They made things really hard on UConn, and UConn was able to make some really tough baskets, and that's going to happen, right? Teams are going to make tough baskets. You saw the numbers even out over the course of the game where UConn shot 25% inside the arc in the first half, and then they shot about that same percentage from 3 in the second half. Offensively, KU was able to get things going. Hunter Dickinson was pretty potent. KU was moving the ball really well, and then things got really stagnant in the second half. And I think when you play elite teams, you see where the weaknesses lie and the strengths lie in your team. And I think you saw the weakness show up for KU during the stretch when UConn went on to take the lead. KU does not have very many shooters. Kevin McCullough, Hunter Dickinson, maybe Johnny Furphy are really the ones. Nick Timberlake can't see the floor right now. He's not rebounding, he's not guarding, he's not knocking down shots. And it's going to be really hard for him to get back in the rotation when you look at the schedule KU has coming up. And so UConn stopped guarding KU on the perimeter. Johnny Furphy came in the game, made a 3. They had to start guarding him. It opened it up a little bit more. And then when Kevin McCullough made those shots down the stretch, everything really opened up for KU overall. And that's when it's coming down to this year. Teams are going to make KU shoot 3s to beat them. On the nights KU makes 3s, they're going to be really, really hard to beat. They may not lose all season when they're making 3s. That's how well this team can play when they spread the floor and shoot 3s. But when they're not, it can look pretty bad because teams can crowd the paint. And what they did, UConn, was crowd Hunter Dickinson in the second half. Klingon did a great job on him. And it made life really hard. And when KU can't get those easy baskets, where do they turn? It's really hard to go to someone else, right? Can Kevin McCullough make a tough 2? Who's the guy you go to? DeJuan Harris was a little bit off tonight. KJ Adams had his moments, but again, do you want to have him be the guy that's creating on his own? So these are just some of the issues that I think as we get into more of the season that you're going to see teams try and hone in on. And when we get into Big 12 play and teams are playing KU for the second time and they're seeing KU and the sets and the movement that the KU is going to have, they're going to know how to guard it. And it's going to be about how KU makes shots in those games. That's going to determine the record that KU has in those tough matchups. So overall, I mean, and also look, I think you got to tip your hat to Tristan Newton. 31 points on 18 shots. I was talking to someone post-game. We're trying to come up with a better performance from a guard coming into Allen Fieldhouse in non-conference play, so they've not played in Allen Fieldhouse before. I went back to Remy Martin in that 2017-18 season when KU lost in Allen Fieldhouse. And remind me in the comments if you think of someone more recent than that, where a guard is coming down Fieldhouse and just been red hot all game. He was electric. He's the reason UConn didn't get blown out in this game, because in the first half, it was his tough shot making that allowed UConn to even be remotely close to KU. And there have been other teams that come in Allen Fieldhouse and have that type of start and fade away and lose by 20. And it's a credit to UConn how good they are as a team that they didn't. So overall, I think it's a really encouraging game for KU. You see some of the strengths KU has, right, in that front court. You look at guys like KJ Adams, Hunter Dickinson, they're learning how to play together. Kevin McCullers played at a really high level, and it's going to come down to DeJuan Harris. Bill Self has mentioned it, DeJuan needs to shoot more. He needs to shoot more, but he needs to make more shots too. And I think you saw that tonight where he was 1 of 7 from the field. Not the percentages you want to see from him, but this is a team we're still learning a lot about, right? They've not played a lot of minutes together, and they're playing and learning as time goes on. So a bye game for KU on Tuesday. Kansas City comes to town, and then it's the Missouri game, another opportunity for us to see more about this KU team, and I'm really going to be looking at the bench. KU needs more from the bench. These guys are not going to last in Big 12 play playing 37, 38 minutes every 4 days. They're going to wind down because this conference is going to be so tough again this year. So obviously lots to break down, lots to come. Stay tuned to Fog.net. We got you covered on all angles for KU basketball, KU football, recruiting, and everything you need.